this is what I want. I want Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes AFC Championship game.
Hey, now okay.
That's what I want for real. No sugarcoating. That's what I want. But like, damn, that schedule is fucking crazy. It's like, oh, y'all got Aaron to watch this.
The Jet. I got it. The Jets do have it's gonna be the first like 5 games of the season is gonna be a real measuring stick for them because they got a brutal schedule this year.
I mean, this is one of the divisions. You can make the playoffs if you win the division.
What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of PPP, the Pigskin Posse Podcast. We're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. And we got about 3 more weeks till the season start.
About that. About actually a month out for NFL official season start. Yeah.
About a week, and then about a week and a half out for college. Also, I forgot to introduce both of us. But I'm Tim, that's Ryan, but that goes to show y'all how excited we be to get on this motherfucker and talk football.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, for anybody that's a football fan, if y'all ain't had the chance, please go watch that Johnny Manziel documentary because it's a lot of crazy shit on there that y'all nobody really knew about. Ryan ain't seen it yet.
Hey,
Ryan ain't seen it yet, so we can't talk about it. But you go watch it.
I have seen QB. Is it QB1?
A quarterback.
NFL was about. Yeah. It was about Pat, Marcus Mariota, and Kirk Cousins. So yeah, and it's dope because it shows you tiers. It's the top tier, middle of the pack tier, and
low tier.
Trying to stay in the league tier. So
right.
It gives you great insight and perspective of what these dudes go through. And yes, quarterbacks do get hit.
So a lot.
It's not a glamour position. I mean, they control the offense, so they get all the praise when things go right. But at the same time, you need a quarterback to win.
Then, especially in today's game, you do. I mean, you can make it without. You can one of the teams we're gonna talk about. You can only be QB proof for so fucking long for that shit come back to bite you in the ass.
I mean, you can look at the 2000 Ravens with Trent Dilferge and shit. I mean, even he had to throw sometimes.
Sometimes. And so when you had a defense and a running game like they did, shit, you ain't really had to worry about the QB. You ain't have to worry about the QB back then. But when your defense also only give up like 10 points, you really ain't got shit to worry about either. All you got to do is score a couple times.
Bro, their defense was so cold. They would literally tell the offense, just go score. Once we get up 2 scores, we'll take care of the rest.
That's what Ray Lewis said. That's what Ray Lewis said. He was like, if they don't score, they don't win. They don't win if they don't score. That was it. That was their motto. And the motherfuckers definitely had a hard time scoring. So,
a wonderful team. Shout out Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, even though I can't stand the fucking Ravens, obviously. I fucking hate the Ravens. But as a football fan, I'm able to put my fandom for my Steelers aside. Yes, the Ravens did have a phenomenal defense. We also had a phenomenal defense back in 2010 as well. So
I don't know why you wouldn't bring that up.
Well, we wouldn't
work out too good.
We wasn't the best. We wasn't the best defense of all time, but we had one of the top 2. We're top 2, whether you like it or not.
All right, got it. Play for the other green team, sliced and diced.
But no, see, no. Defense was okay that year. They was good. They wasn't that good. The year that we beat the Cardinals in the Super Bowl.
That's 08, 09?
Yeah. 2008.
I always get confused when they were that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know, right? You're not the
always.
That's my team, and I get it confused sometimes.
What year was that?
2008. 2008. That's when James Harrison took that motherfucking interception all the way back.
I know. I remember watching that. Like, man, fuck the Steelers.
I went crazy.
That big motherfucker was breathing hard as hell too.
You saw when he got to this zone, he just laid out, did the made a snow angel, a grass angel because there wasn't no snow.
Let me lay here for a minute. Oh shit,
man. All right, man. We're gonna go ahead and hop up into it this week. We have both West divisions in the AFC and the NFC. We're gonna touch on the NFC first. First up, we have the San Francisco 49ers, finished last season 13-4. Some key additions for them was QB Sam Darnold, cornerback Isaiah Oliver, defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, defensive end Cleveland Farrell, John Feliciano at center, offensive tackle Matt Pryor, and they make another good replacement for DeMeco Ryans, the defensive coordinator, and went out and get Steve Wilkes. Some key departures for this team. Of course, they lose DeMeco Ryans as defensive coordinator. They lose Jimmy G in the trade to the Raiders. They lose defensive back Jimmy Ward. They lose defensive tackle Hassan Ridgeway. They lose defensive end Charles Minhue. They lose cornerback Emmanuel Mosley. They lose offensive tackle Mike McGlinchey. They lose defensive end Samson Ibukam. They lose offensive lineman Daniel Brunskill and linebacker Aziz Al-Shai. I guess that's how the hell you say his name. Ryan, I'm gonna let you attack this team first. I'm gonna let you take this one first. What are you making of the 49ers this season?
Who the hell is playing quarterback?
That's the first question.
I mean, it's the Mr. Lance. Now I've been on record saying how I felt about Mr. Lance.
You did.
Been on record about that. I don't know if I want to trust the guy that only played half a season, but I mean, when he was healthy and his elbow wasn't fucked up, they won. But he also played against the best defense in football last year.
True.
In the NFC Championship game, and Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, the X factor. I'm just kidding.
You should have. I feel like they should have kept Jimmy. I don't know. But in the 49ers defense, I don't like Josh McDaniel's system. So there's that. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this team. I mean, the defense, I expect the defense to do what it's been doing the last 4 or 5 years or so. But the offense, I don't know who's playing quarterback. I mean, whoever can get the starting job and play well, that's the guy that's going to get the job. And if they have a productive season at quarterback, I don't see why they can't make the NFC Championship game again this year. They got the defense to do it.
This team is, I hate to say it, this team's kind of QB proof. Like in what sense, to where with this team, you're not really worried about who's fucking playing quarterback because of the system that what the hell is that Kyle Shanahan is running out there. Like, come on, bro. In what crazy ass world last year when you make the starter you make your starter an unproven QB based off of pure talent, you may then the person that was originally your starter becomes the backup and he comes in and plays better than the fucking starter. Then he goes down.
He breaks his foot.
The third stringer comes in and plays better than the backup and the person that was supposed to be the fucking starter. So if they had a crazy season, like they had a crazy successful season last season.
They had the makings of having they should have one of their worst seasons ever, and they didn't.
Should have. So this team to me is a little kind of QB proof. That's their biggest issue this season is who the fuck is gonna play QB for this team. I mean, I still think they want Trey Lance to work out, but they haven't had enough to go off of. And I mean, you have half of a season to tape on Brock Purdy, and we saw the success he had last season. So
a lot of one reads though.
Yeah, that's true. That and then that the run game was the run game is what it is. And I mean, Sam Darnold, he's lost more games than he's won, but he ain't always been in the greatest. He played well for Carolina in the back end of the season last year. So I definitely don't think that Sam Darnold's going to be the starter. So as of right now, it's between Brock Purdy and it's between this Trey Lance motherfucker. Like Ryan's been on record saying how he feels about Trey Lance, and at this point, I feel the same way. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you play? do you start Trey Lance in the preseason, get enough tape on him, and try to get at this point? Do you try to get some trade bait from him?
Yes.
At this, you think so? At this point,
you play Trey. You hope he plays good. You know what I'm saying? This might be a situation where, like Sam Darnold, for instance, like he got drafted by the Jets. He really didn't have too much success there. Went to Carolina, put up some good numbers, but they really didn't do anything in terms of the team. But I mean, he still kept his value,
right?
To be able to be on the 49ers. So yes, you play him in the preseason. You hope he plays well. And then somebody around, week 5, week 7 needs a quarterback. Make that trade deadline. Boom. You know what I'm saying? The baggage is gone. But at the same time, you need to hope whoever you kept at the quarterback can stay healthy.
Pans out.
Yeah.
I found it crazy that they was talking about that. Like Kyle Shanahan came out last year and said that he was talking about they were going to sign Phillip Rivers, like going into the postseason just to have an extra quarterback on the roster. I thought that shit was kind of crazy. If they'd have Phillip Rivers, I don't know, because he's for one, you pulling this man off of his couch with his fucking 7, 8 kids. So ain't no telling what the fuck would have happened. I mean, of course, Brock Purdy got all the way to the NFC Championship game. Do you really trust Phillip Rivers coming off the couch in the fucking NFC Championship game? Really?
I mean, no.
He's like plain and simple. No.
No. I mean, he is a veteran, so anything could happen. But that'd been the crazy. Phillip Rivers gets his Super Bowl.
That'd have been wild. That'd have been wild. Yeah. Well, as far as the 49ers go, I mean, because the division, the Arizona Cardinals, we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about every other team outside the Seahawks and the 49ers, the other two teams, they're train wreck. Like we don't.
Hold on.
We're going to talk about it. But
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
I ain't trying to say nothing just yet. But did you watch the preseason game last night?
I did. No, not that. I worked last night, so I missed it.
The Arizona game.
Mm-hmm.
They was hanging in there with Denver.
It's preseason, so we're not gonna make too much of that.
Yeah, Jared.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do expect the 49ers maybe not to go on the crazy run that they did last year, but I do expect them to win this division and get to the playoffs. I don't know about the NFC Conference Championship game. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe winner by default because the NFC is not. It ain't gonna be as competitive as it was last year.
All the quarterbacks have jumped to the AFC.
Pretty much. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks, who went 9-8 last year. Some key additions for them. They get back linebacker Bobby Wagner. They get a linebacker Devin Bush. They get defensive lineman Jaron Reed, safety Julian Love, and of course they get wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba in the draft. Some key departures for them. They lose defensive lineman Poona Ford. They lose running back Rashad Penny. They lose defensive lineman Quentin Jefferson, safety John Abrams, and offensive lineman Kyle Fuller to the Broncos. With the Seahawks, I think all of us would agree nobody expected them to do the shit they did last year. So I mean, they definitely caught us by surprise. The biggest question for this team is, I think, can the defense be just as good as they were last year, as well as what the hell is his name? Gino. I just said it. Gino. Can Gino replicate what he was able to do last season? I think that's the biggest question for this team, which I think he can. I mean, he has the weapons to do so. If he, Dave Canales, he's with the Buccaneers, but I think he had a lot to do with what Geno Smith was able to do last year. But I definitely think he can replicate what he did, because the offensive core got better with you putting Jackson Smith and Jigba out there. So you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's a route technician, Tyler Lockett, who's a speed demon, and DK Metcalf, who he's a dominant number one. I'm not gonna say dominant, but he's of course the wide receiver one on that team. He can play the hell out of the wide receiver position. So I expect them to be just as good as they were last season, another wild card team. I don't think they beat out San Francisco to win this division, but I expect them to be just as good as they were last year.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. The real test is, can Geno go out there and prove it? And I think he can. I remember Geno all the way in his West Virginia days. That motherfucker, he could throw the football.
Yeah,
flat out.
Sure.
He could throw the football, and
no question about that.
For him to be basically counted out and then walk into $100 million contract is amazing. So I hope he can live up to the billing. Wish nothing but success for Geno and the 49ers. I mean the
49ers.
The Seahawks. My bad.
You good. I think they lose a little bit on the offense with Dave Canellis leaving and them losing Kyle Fuller, because Kyle Fuller was one of their top offensive linemen. I do like that they did go get another wide receiver, because I mean Tyler Lockett's definitely getting up there, and he's not old, but he's getting up there in age, so you can only depend on him for so long. I do like the safety Julian Love, because I'm not a Jamal Adams fan. We call him Blitz Boy for a reason, because he sucks in coverage. So that right there shows me that they don't trust him enough in passing situations. So there's that. I mean, I don't. It's this team. It's another one of them teams that they're hard to gauge. I don't think they're going to be any worse than they were last year, but I don't think they're going to be much better. I mean, the record will look better, but I think they'll do pretty much the same shit they did last year. They'll make the playoffs, and that'll be it.
I mean, but like, isn't that a typical Seattle team? Like, I don't know. They got, for the longest time, they got Russ, so they'll be okay. They got a decent defense, got a running game, play action, So I mean, it's always been that for the
Seahawks.
Seahawks is this, Well, we'll find out, and then they, they end up in the NFC Championship game.
I do wonder how much longer Pete Carroll has. He's for when he's old, and it's like at one point they were talking about moving on from him at head coach. I mean, I don't. The Seahawks, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. Now, I love Geno; he can get them to the playoffs, but I don't think they're getting to the Super Bowl. So, at what point do you just decide to move on?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Having continuity in your franchise, you value that, which is why Sean Payton stayed in New Orleans for so long after they won that Super Bowl.
True. That's why Mike T is still the head coach of the Steelers, but he's never had a losing season. So, just saying.
And I mean, I don't know. It's almost, for me, it's almost like the Bill Belichick situation. Like, I just can't see them firing him, but I understand NFL is a business, so we've seen crazier shit. So
if they want to move on, they gonna move on, whether we like it or not.
So we'll have to see, but I can't see it right now. Especially if they make the playoffs again this year.
True, very true, very true. We shall see. Moving on to the Los Angeles Rams. Last season, we don't know what the fuck happened. How the fuck you go from a Super Bowl team to being 5-12? We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But some key additions for them: cornerback Ahkello Witherspoon, wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson, and running back Royce Freeman. Some key departures. Lost a lot this offseason. Some key departures: cornerback Jalen Ramsey in a trade to the Dolphins. Leonard Floyd, defensive end / linebacker. Wide receiver Allen Robinson. I don't know if you can call Baker Mayfield a key departure, but he did help them through the last half of the season. They lose linebacker Bobby Wagner. They lose kicker Matt Gay. They lose safety Taylor Rapp, and they lose safety Nick Scott. Because I'm such a Rams fan, I'm gonna take this one first. First and foremost, I want to say this. I do understand Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford. I do understand they did obtain injuries, but I don't agree with Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, and Aaron Donald pretty much saying, well, the season's going down the drain. It ain't no point in us playing. Because that's pretty much what I think. I don't think that Cooper Kupp did have season-ending surgery. He did, well, not certain, but he had a season-ending injury. It wasn't necessarily season-ending, but it was like he was going to be out for a while. They were going to be out of the playoff race. They wasn't going to win them games. So it's just like, what the fuck am I out here for? I'm not about to go out here and put myself at risk of getting hurt. And not to mention he signed that big contract. So I think the Rams shut him down to kind of protect their investment. Mm-hmm. Matt Stafford, it was pretty much the same thing. It was really with Aaron Donald. I didn't like that shit. He got hurt. He saw what the Rams had to put out there and it's just like, you know what? I'm not fucking playing this season. Fuck
like
that.
Like the Homer Simpson meme when he went back into the bushes.
Yeah, like I didn't really like that shit. I thought that was key, and that's why I saluted Jalen Ramsey, because he was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna get out here and play regardless. I know this. We're not making the playoffs this season. We're definitely not gonna replicate what we did a season ago. So go out there and we just gonna have fun. We're gonna give it what the fuck we got.
Man, that's called spade, man. That Super Bowl hangover. That's all this was. I mean, you see it happen a lot. That's why that's why the last team to win a Super Bowl back to back was the Patriots all the way in 03, 04. You see how long ago that was? About 20 years ago. Right. So, I mean, you just need a lot of things to go your way. First of all, you need some of the same personnel. Second of all, health. Third of all, that luck has to break your way. Yeah. For you to win ball games. And unfortunately, this was not the case for the Rams. The Rams went back to the prior years. So
the St. Louis years. Let's call it what it is. The St. Louis years,
or the first year in LA with McVay year.
No, Jeff Fitt. No, because the first they had success. They was good the first year with McVay. They made the playoffs. That first year in first year in LA when Jeff Fisher was there.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's unfortunate that people are saying that McVay is back on the hot seat, but remember last year they had him on a hot seat. They won it all, so we'll have to see. I mean, Matt Stafford is getting older. Aaron Donald's getting older. That Cooper Kupp contract doesn't really look as sexy as it did when you first signed it. I mean, who's the anchor? You know what I'm saying? You can't. I feel like another reason why Cooper Kupp got hurt because I feel like that's the only person Matt Stafford was looking for. Yeah. All right, what's Cooper? Rich Cooper. Yeah. Rich Cooper. But you know what I'm saying? Did they get anybody else at wide receiver?
No, they got that. No, they really didn't. That's why I was just like,
I mean, okay. I mean, you're not doing anything to help yourself, but then again, when you're shelling out money to three different positions, you're not really saving anything for your team. So. Right. I mean, I would have resigned OBJ if I was around.
I would have too. I said that.
Okay.
All right, whatever. But I got a tough time with this team. I mean, everybody knows I like the Rams as well. I'm still a fan from even with them leaving St. Louis. But I expect maybe they go 8-8, 8-9, or 8-9 or something because we do got that extra game in the season. But
that's modest, Tim.
But the biggest thing for this defense, this team is the defense. You got a bunch of new faces outside of Aaron Donald. You got a bunch of new faces on this defense. You let Bobby Wagner go. You let Leonard Floyd walk. Only part you traded your bet. You traded your best corner defensive back. So I don't know.
He was getting cooked though last year. It wasn't looking good.
To an extent.
Yeah, to a degree.
But it was just like
chicken alert.
Yeah, but it was just like what the other little dude, Kobe Durant, he had a pretty good year last year. Mm-hmm. So the defense, I feel this year the same way I felt about the Steelers when they after Ben retired. I have no expectations for this team this year. I mean, I expect them. I expect them to go out there and compete week in and week out. I expect them to be better than what the fuck they were last year. But I have no hope for them next year. I really don't. Well, this upcoming season. And then I mean, if you're the Rams, what do you do with Matt Stafford in this contract? I mean, I think he's
and he does not want to work things out in terms of defer money. No, you guys paid me, so I'm gonna get my money and I'm gonna go home.
Now my question is this: if Matt Stafford starts to look like shit again, or he gets hurt again, do you just go ahead and say fuck it and ride the rest of your season out with Stetson Bennett? I say you do. If they start going down, if the Rams season starts going downhill, you got one or two options: bench Matt Stafford and let Stetson Bennett finish out the season, or trade Matt Stafford and see what you can get in return. Try to get a first round pick back. Because they ain't got no first round picks till 2027, 2029. They don't have no first round picks for a while.
Bro, no. No, motherfucker. You paid to get your ass out there and play. No. Stetson Bennett, okay, brother. That all that shit you did at Georgia, that was cute. This is the NFL.
Correct.
Okay. That's true. So yeah, Matt Stafford, get your ass out there and you better play and you better play good.
We shall see.
I don't see why he can't have a good season. I mean, he leaned up and shit. So I mean, that's probably why he got hurt.
They leaned up a little bit.
Ain't take all them hits.
I think all them hits and all that abuse and all them hits that he took when he was in Detroit just caught up to him. That's what I think happened.
Yep.
We shall see.
Roll the dice on them Rams. I don't know.
Hey. Last but not least, we have the Cardinals, who were 4-13 last year. Some key additions for them. Tight end Jeff Swaim. I don't know if you can call that a key addition. Linebacker Kaiser White. He was with Philly last year. Was actually pretty decent. LJ Collier, defensive line. Pat Elfin on the offensive line. Wide receiver Zach Pascal. Running back Marlon Mack. And they get Jonathan Gannon as former defensive coordinator of Philadelphia Eagles as their head coach. Some key departures for them. Of course, Cliff Kingsbury gets fired. Byron Murphy at cornerback leaves. Marcus Golden, linebacker leaves. Robbie or Chosen Anderson, he moves on to Miami. DeAndre Hopkins leaves. AJ Green retires. JJ Watt retires, and they lose offensive lineman Poona Ford. I'm gonna let you attack this team first, but I do want to say this: how fucking bad you got to be to have AJ Green and JJ Watt finally say, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm out.
Man, bro, when he pulled that shit, they was in the end zone. He wasn't even. This was the year before last. When he in the end zone, you weren't even looking for the ball. I'm like, yeah, next year better be your last year, bro, because you finna start getting fucked up for real. And then JJ Watt, I mean, he can never stay healthy. It's like it's a no brainer with that. But I don't think Cliff was a bad coach. I just think he just wasn't getting the right players to fit his system. Like you need to get a couple 6'3", 6'2" motherfuckers with speed who have hands. But you know, those guys go high in the draft.
Right.
Every year. So it's kind of hard to, you know, when you're picking third round, fourth round, you gotta make this pick work. Last night I saw some things that I liked. But that tight end he's not him. Well, we'll just have to see. I don't know. I mean, I like the head coach's aggressiveness. If it's 4th and 1, we're going for it. So I like to see that. Right now, I don't know the identity of this team because you know they have a new culture change, a new head coach, and so we'll see. You know, I'll have my answer by week 5, week 6, what they're trying to do offensively. But right now they look like a hard-nosed football team from what I saw last night.
Right. True. You know, after watching the Johnny Manziel documentary, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have to greatly disagree with you. I think Cliff Kingsbury was extremely fucking spoiled because you know you got to think he went from having Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M to going to Texas Tech and having a guy like fucking Pat Mahomes. So I think the system he was trying to do was, hey, I got Kyler. Let Kyler do what the fuck he want to do, and it simply just did not work out.
And had a losing record while coaching at Texas A&M. And name me a college coach that gets fired and then gets hired by an NFL team the same fucking season. Crazy.
Well, we all know the reason why he really got hired was because he knew Kyler. Like I think him and Kyler were kind of buddies. So, and not to mention he was very familiar with the Texas way of football. But like I said, after watching the documentary, I'm only gonna say this. He said that's why Johnny Manziel was doing all that shit that he was doing, because he was just like, you know what, I got Johnny. I'm gonna call the plays and I'm gonna let Johnny do what the fuck he do. So it's pretty, and it was kind of the same at Texas Tech. You know, we saw what Pat Mahomes was doing at Texas Tech. So he just thought with him having Kyler, he saw how well Kyler played, you know, and how well he played in college and how well, even though they didn't win, how well he did that first year. So he thought he could just bring that shit to the NFL, and it simply didn't work out. I do want to say this. For one, I don't think the Cardinals are not going to be good next year. I mean, even when Kyler, he don't have nobody to throw the ball to for real. They're not going to be good next year. And his head coach, John Gannon, I don't get this. I really don't get this. How the fuck your defense give up 35 points in the Super Bowl, then you get a head coaching job? So what I think is gonna happen, what I think they hired him for, I honestly think that they know the Cardinals ain't gonna be that good this season, so they're hiring him as head coach, as the scapegoat to get them through this season. And he's either gonna get fired right before the season. He's gonna get fired right before the season is over, or midway through the season, because this team is just gonna be that bad, and they're just gonna blame the shit on him.
Hey! They usually wait to year 3 to fire new coaches. All right.
We'll see. Yeah, they didn't wait till year 3 with Nathaniel Hackett. They got midway through the season, just like, we've seen enough. Get the fuck out of here,
bro. They looking at, okay, you just coached at the time the reigning league MVP, 2-time back-to-back reigning league MVP, and Aaron Rodgers. They looking at all the offensive success and things of that nature. They're looking at, okay, this is Russell Wilson, all the success he had. So this should be a no-brainer, and then it just didn't work. I feel like that experiment was cut too short. But I mean, okay, now we got Sean Payton, and I tell you this much: Russell looked all right last night.
Yeah, we talking about just wait on that. We talking about Cardinals though.
But no, I have no expectations for this team. This off the simple fact that they don't have a God plan.
Right.
So I mean, it's like it is what it is. If they win 6+ games, consider it a fucking win.
Fair enough. I agree.
They schedule. Have you seen their schedule?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, they had a losing record. Why they got this fucked up schedule, bro?
Hey.
Man, they don't like Kyle. Get this nigga out there.
No, like I said, at this point, it's a race between Arizona and Washington. Tank for Caleb. No, pretty much what it is.
We got Arizona, we got Washington, we got Tampa Bay. Who else? All the other teams I can think of, shit. Patriots might be up there.
He ain't going to New England. He probably gonna tell them that. He probably gonna tell them that in the team meeting. I do not want to fucking come here. I don't want to. I don't. He gonna tell me, I don't want to fucking play for you.
If we got the number 1 overall pick, motherfucker, guess what? Bring that ass on.
Fair enough. All right, so we're going to move on to the AFC West, and we're going to go backwards this time because we got to talk about Super Bowl champ. That's why I saved this division for last. We're going to talk about the champs last. But first up, we have the Denver Broncos, who were 5-12 last season. I actually like what I love this offseason for them. Some key additions for them. They want to get defensive end Frank Clark from the Chiefs. They want to get offensive line Mike McGlinchey. Offensive lineman Mike McGlinchey. They want to get another offensive lineman in Kyle Fuller, who knows Russell Wilson. They want to get tight end Adam Trotman. They go get offensive lineman from the Ravens, Ben Powers, and they get a wide receiver Marquez Callaway. Some key departures for them. They lose their defensive coordinator Ivero Ejiro. They lose kicker Brandon McManus, offensive lineman Billy Turner, offensive lineman Calvin Anderson, running back Mike Boone, and running back Latavius Murray. And of course, head coach Sean. The key additions. Another key addition for them was head coach Sean Payton. Now, I want to say I'm not a Broncos fan at all. I know Cody, you probably gonna watch this shit, so I know you like it got my team fucked up. But
let's roll.
But anyway, as a football fan, I want to say this: don't let last season fool y'all. I don't know what the fuck that was. Russ was the most hit quarterback. Russ was, if not the most hit. He was definitely up there. The team was just all around bad last year. And bad coaching, bad clock management, bad offensive line play. They was just bad.
Bad special team.
Yep. Bad.
Also, every time Future disses him, he has a good season.
That too. Another key addition for them was running back Samaje Perine. He's on the Broncos now. Another thing I want to say is with Sean Payton's history, with this team and all the talent they got on this team, don't count on the Broncos doing the same shit that they did last year. I love Mike McGlinchey. He was one of the reasons why the San Francisco 49ers was able to have such a fucking good offensive line to run the ball like they did. Kyle Fuller, Kyle Fuller knows Russ. That was one of his buddies when he was in Seattle. Ben Powers, I do believe he's a Pro Bowl guard coming from the Ravens. So their pass protection will be a lot better. And me personally, I'm looking forward to watching the Russell. I'm hoping Jerry Jeudy can finally get to that point because he's shown flashes, but he hasn't really seen it with the QB. So I expect this team to be twice as good as what the fuck they were last year, and that's not saying much. But maybe 3 times is better. But I do expect them to be a player in the AFC. I think they possibly can make the wild card. I think the defense will be just as good as they were. So yeah, I mean the future is bright for Denver. Russ, he's looking good this offseason. Sean Payton came in and is like, hey, we ain't having it. You're not getting a parking spot in the office at the fucking stadium no more. That shit's done. You got to earn that. So, I'm looking forward to watching this Broncos team this year. Now, what's your take on this team?
Let's roll.
Let's ride, not let's roll. Let's ride.
Let's ride. Let's ride. They're gonna be all right. They have a real running back now. No, not taking anything away from the previous guy they had last year.
He was just hurt.
My only look with Sean Payton's offense. I'm set. If he has an offensive line plus the running game with P-Ryan, he got the receivers. So Jeudy can catch the ball, take 2 steps, and not just fumble the motherfucker. And luckily, it went out of bounds. But yeah, they should be all right. So, yeah, I'm gonna go out and say Denver makes the wild card.
I agree. I just last season was too much. It was I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I really don't. I don't know what the fuck Nathaniel Hackett was doing. How do you have all that talent and it can't materialize? But like me and you have talked about numerous times, offensive coordinators don't always make good head coaches. Hell, defensive coordinators don't always make good head coaches. You got to have that lead. You have to have. You're leading the team. Leadership. When you're being a coach, leadership should be your number one quality.
If you heard this shit with Eric Bieniemy lately, it's your approach too. Yep. Like all that dog cussing and shit, like how we was coached when we played football. That shit doesn't work today, bro. You talking to grown ass man and keep in mind, oh yeah, they're getting paid to do this, my nigga. Right. So it's not like you can just come out, they did something you didn't like. Look, there's a way you can express your dislike without being an asshole about it for a second. But then again, this is football, and football builds character, and sometimes you gotta tell motherfuckers things that they don't want to hear. That's true. That's the game. It's just the business.
True. But I also think that I think that Nathaniel Hackett lost the locker room middle of the season. That's why I feel like they went on and got this. I know they went on and got the shit kicked out of them by the Rams. It was like 50 something to 14 or something like that. That's why he got fired.
I don't think he ever had the locker room. But
yeah, that's true.
And the NFL team dropping 50 on you, that's bad. That's real bad.
True.
That's real bad.
I think these players have no choice but to respect Sean Payton for the simple reason he's a proven head coach. I mean, you saw what the fuck he was they was talking about Drew Brees. They were saying he was taking a risk on taking Drew Brees because I think Drew Brees had just come off of surgery. So and Drew Brees was considered a short quarterback. So I'm high on this team again this season, and I think it's gonna come to fruition. I really do.
Guess the coach who has won Super Bowl and a higher playoff winning percentage than Sean Payton. That's currently coaching NFL right now.
You said that's won one Super Bowl?
That's won one Super Bowl and has a higher playoff winning percentage than Sean Payton. They both won Super Bowls in the modern era.
Hold on. McCarthy? I had to think about it for a second. I had to think, but yeah, McCarthy.
Yeah, and you've seen his teams last.
I don't think that's so. I think that's strictly quarterback play, but that makes for another fucking conversation because we all know what the fuck happened the last couple seasons. So we gonna leave that one alone.
Yep. Aaron got his ass right up out of there.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
And I think that's probably why he requested. Oh, speaking of that, I want to say this, bro. I might be coming to your house for this game. The Broncos and the Jets. That's the game. Mark that game on your calendars because of what Sean Payton came in and said about Nathaniel Hackett and what Robert Saleh said, what they said back, what Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that game is marked on the calendars.
Keep
I can't wait to see that
name
game.
out your mouth.
It's gonna fuck around and be a fight that game.
Keep my coach's name out your mouth, bitch. Yeah. Hey, yeah. I'll be watching that game. Be watching all the fucking games.
Most definitely. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, if y'all ain't got it yet, go ahead and get that DVTV. Go ahead and get DVTV. Shout out Derek. Next up, we got the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders at 6-11.
I'm just now getting used to saying that shit.
Right.
Vegas
Some key additions for them was Marcus Peters at quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G as we call him. Tight end Austin Hooper, defensive back Jaquan Johnson, David Long at cornerback, Jordan Willis as an edge rusher, Robert Spillane at linebacker, and Jacoby Myers at wide receiver. Some key departures for them of obviously Derek Carr at quarterback, Darren Waller at tight end, Denzel Perryman at linebacker, Rock Ya-Sin at cornerback, Foster Moreau at tight end, and backup quarterback Jared Stidham. You go ahead, Ryan, because I know you got a lot of shit you want to say about this team.
Man, all right, Mr. McDaniels. Don't run my man Josh Jacobs in the fucking ground like you did last year.
No, hold on. Let me interrupt you. Pay Josh Jacobs. Pay the man. Pay the man. Plain and simple. Now also go ahead.
I mean, his shit wasn't injuries though. I mean, maybe you could say that one year, the year before last season, he might have been banged up a lot, but when he's had an offensive line and healthy, you can see he's going to be in the top 5 in rushing. Right. He led the NFL in rushing last year. We'll see. Okay, Jimmy G's played in this system before New England. We'll see, but it's different. You know, you had guys like Gronk and Edelman and Amendola, you know, guys who were able to create separation.
Right.
You had Jacoby Myers. He has great hands, but he isn't the fastest guy.
Right.
But I mean, okay, we'll see if you can try this Patriots offense out west. We'll see. Chandler Jones honestly had a good year last year, which is why Mr. Crosby was getting all those sacks because Chandler will close down on his side. They have no choice but to go to Crosby's side, sack or fumble, you know, rush pass leads to interception, things like that nature. So, maybe they can squeeze in that last wild card spot. I'm on the fence about this Raiders team. I don't like them defensively, and I don't think Josh has done a great job of implementing his identity on offense, what he wants to do with this team. So hopefully with a guy who's more familiar with his system, they can have better results.
I can agree. I don't think they make the playoffs though. The Raiders they're an anomaly this season. Hold
on. Is Waller coming back?
No, Waller went to the Giants. They traded him to the Giants. That's why they brought in. They literally might have. Man, Hooper getting passed around like it. Anyway, my bad. Continue. The Raiders, they're an anomaly this season. I mean, I don't know if you've been reading the reports, but Josh Jacobs obviously said he don't want to play there. Devontae Adams, he's trying to get the fuck up out of there because I don't think him and Jimmy G has spoke yet, but he's pretty much let Josh McDaniels know he's not happy with him and he's not happy with the fucking team. So I don't see this team getting to the play. I see them being a little bit better. I see them just missing the playoffs. But I will say this. I don't think Jimmy G is a better quarterback than Derek Carr. I don't think so. I think if you get,
but he wins.
Yeah, if you ask me, I could be wrong. If you put Derek Carr in the 49ers, I think the 49ers maybe win the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. That's just and I think maybe the 49ers beat the fucking Rams. That's my Derek because Derek Carr is more clutch than Jimmy G.
Derek Carr breaks your heart late every time, man.
Yeah, that's true too. But There's nothing that this team did this offseason. I mean, outside of Simon and Jimmy G that really jumped out at me. I mean, I don't think they got better, but I don't think they got worse, if that makes sense. I don't like you. I agree with you. I don't like Josh McDaniels as a head coach. I don't. He fuck up this season. He gonna probably try to crawl back to Bill, and Bill probably ain't gonna have it because Bill Belichick and because Bill O'Brien's a better offensive coordinator than Josh McDaniels in my eyes. Josh McDaniels just had Brady to make up for his fucking mistakes. So that's the way I look at that.
Bill O'Brien's just happy to be back in the league. I'm so happy to be here, guys. I'm just thank you so much, man. I thank Nick Saban and everybody there in Alabama giving me this opportunity. But yeah, I mean, if you look at his track record when he was the head coach at Denver, it didn't work out too good.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But, I mean, we shall see. It's the Raiders, and they're another one of those teams that you can't really depend on.
No.
Next up.
You want them to be good. They just can't.
Because it's the Raiders. They're a historic team. There's a lot of history there. Mm-hmm. Next up, we have another team you can't really fucking depend on. The Los Angeles Chargers, who finished last year 10-7. Some key additions for them. They only made 2. Nick Williams at defensive lineman and Eric Kendricks at linebacker. Some key departures. They lose their leading tackler, Drew Tranquil at linebacker. They lose Matt Filer on offensive line. They lose Troy Reader at linebacker. They lose Storm Norton and fullback Braden Fajoko. I've said it once and I've said it before. I give up on this team. I've tried the last couple seasons to see them being a good team, being a contender and all that, but I simply just don't see it. I don't see it.
I gave up on them when Phillip was there.
I don't. Go ahead.
When they lost to the Ravens, that Ravens team should not have beaten that Chargers team that year.
No, the Chargers beat you. Talking about the playoffs, the Chargers beat them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the Chargers beat them that year. It's just when you good. When they lost to the Jags last year, bro, how the fuck you get a 27? I think it's 27-3 lead, and you blow that shit. I don't know what I think. The Patriots comeback was a lot worse because it was in the Super Bowl. But I just you stop being aggressive on offense, and you can't capitalize off of throwing 5 picks off of the opposing quarterback throwing 5 picks in the first half. That's terrible, bro. Terrible. I like Herbert, but this is another one of them teams, just like the 49ers, because I meant to say this about the 49ers. What the fuck is going on with the training staff over there? Because the Chargers can't seem to stay healthy either.
Maybe them LA doctors, Kawhi, it's just knee sprain, turned out it's an ACL turn. Just some with them LA doctors, dog. I don't know.
Maybe the California doctors.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, just drink some green juice and go jogging. You'll be all right. You'll be fine. Shit, I don't know. Honestly, they might have to make a head coaching change.
I agree.
Get more mature. I mean, because the problem isn't the offense. The problem is the fucking defense. But historically, the Chargers have never had a great defense.
They did before when they had wasn't Sean Merriman and they had Antonio Cromartie and it was a couple other guys that they had. They had a decent.
But when you needed them motherfuckers to show up, I hate the playoffs. They didn't.
True. Just the like I said, the Chargers. I wanted to see this team succeed. I like Herbert. I like Eckler. I like Keenan Allen, but it's just it hasn't materialized. Now they did go get that guy Quentin Johnson at wide receiver, so that lets me know that they got an issue they have an issue at wide receiver. Hell, Mike Williams started off. I don't know if it was last season or the season before that. He started off hot and he just disappeared. So I don't know what the fuck to make of this team. Hell, is Khalil Mack gonna have a year? It gonna get back to his fucking the ways he were when he was in Oakland with the Raiders? Is he gonna have a year like that first year he had in Chicago? There's too many questions with this team. But like I said, Brandon Staley, he gotta go. I don't like him. All right. And last but not least, we have the reigning 2022 Super Bowl 2022-2023 season Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Finished the year 14-3 last season. Some key additions for them. Offensive, they get another offensive lineman in Donovan Smith, another offensive lineman in Jawan Taylor. They get the Chargers leading tackler Drew Tranquil. They get a defensive end in Charles Omenihu, and they get wide receiver from the Giants, Richie James. Some key departures for them. They lose wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. They lose offensive lineman Orlando Brown. They lose Frank Clark. They lose offensive lineman Andrew Wiley. They lose wide receiver Mecole Hardman. They lose safety Juan Thornhill and defensive lineman Kalen Saunders. I'm going to let you go first, Ryan, because I know how much you love my homie. So go ahead.
Wow. Orlando going to the Bengals, that hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But we'll see if Joey gets back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, we had a whole bunch of questions. How they gonna replace Tyreek last year and win the Super Bowl? So I mean, I'm not gonna be one of those teams where they're gonna get right back and do it. They're gonna win games. They're gonna be competitive. I see no reason why they can't make a deep run, playoff run. Because if you look at their offense, that they get more innovative every year. They don't stay stagnant. They always constantly have new ripples and new type of plays and new playmakers every year.
Right, and they did lose Eric Bieniemy, so that's another thing to take into consideration.
Yeah, so that is too. But Andy Reid, he gets a lot of his players' input in terms of what they want to do. I think that's another reason why they've been so successful. We'll see what happens with this new offensive coordinator. Maybe a bit of a drop off. So instead of 14 wins, might be around that 11 to 13 range. But yeah, I see that. I don't see why this team can't possibly get back to the Super Bowl, if not get to the AFC Championship game.
I can agree. I do think just like you, I do think they lose a little bit with them losing the offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy and going to Matt Nagy. I think when you got Mahomes, come on, man, you got Mahomes is pretty much proven. I'm gonna be fine regardless of who the fuck you put around me. I'm gonna figure it out. He's reached that point to where you really can't. You don't want to count him out. You don't want to say the team's gonna be bad or nothing like that because he proved it last season. He lost his best wide receiver and hell won the MVP, put up his best numbers, and went to the damn Super Bowl. So there's that. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I think this might be the year where the Chiefs defense actually takes, the next step because they
anchor don't want to practice.
Yeah, I think right now that's the biggest question because he's holding out for a new contract. But as far as they got a bunch of young defensive backs, which last year was their first year and they were kind of just thrown into the fire because most of their starters got hurt. So, you give them a full seat, you give them a full offseason to work together. The offense gonna be fine. They have too many, they have too many weapons on offense for them not to be fine. Justin Ross, he's coming back. The guy they went and got from SMU, he's a tall burner on the outside. Rashee Rice. They still got Kadarius Toney, which I think he's going to be a major part of the offense. They went and get another wide receiver from the Giants who's just like Kadarius Toney and Richie James. That dude Sky Moore is still there. Kelsey's still there, his safety blanket. They still got Pacheco and McKinnon coming out the backfield. So I think the Chiefs going to be just fine, man. I do see a bit of a drop-off. I still see them winning the division. And I do see them getting back to the AFC Championship game. I don't even know about the AFC Championship game because the AFC is going to be crazy this year. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the future is bright for the Chiefs. Regardless of who the fuck you put on that team, unless knock on wood, because I'm never wishing this. Unless something happens to my homie, the Chiefs they're gonna always be in the fucking running. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. Why not? I mean, he's starting to get that Tom Brady feel to him. It's like I wouldn't bet against him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's not too many times you give him that ball in crunch time with enough time on that clock, he's not gonna figure something out.
Right. It's like he's reached that point to where we don't know about this defense. I can't even say the defense because the Patriots always had a good defense. It's like, yeah, we don't know about the rest of these guys we got around them, but we know who the fuck is under center. We know who's playing quarterback, so they're gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes, nigga. And then watching that documentary, that miniseries about the NFL quarterbacks on Netflix, he knows all of his receivers, and he builds a personal relationship and a connection. How do you like the ball thrown to you? You know, and things like that. And he's willing to defer money to get more players, or players like Jones can get their money.
Come back. Yep.
That, you know what I'm saying? That's the makers of somebody that wants to be great.
I agree. Now, I will say this. The thing that worries me is and the question going into this season is how long does Kelsey have left? Because Kelsey's getting up there in age. I think Kelsey's about 30, 32, 33, 34, somewhere around that. So I think as of right now, that's probably their biggest question is how much more can they get out of Kelsey before, they have to start looking at other options at tight end or, maybe bringing in a wide receiver they can depend on like Patrick depends on Travis. So I'm hoping that I like Pacheco. So I'm hoping that the run offense can materialize. But I mean, hey, the sky's the limit this season for the Chiefs, as it always is. And I think if for Evan Rutgers, but yeah, I think the sky's the limit for this team as it has been, as it is, and it always will be. So we shall see. Looking forward to a great 2023 NFL season.
Oh, motherfucker. Oh, man. I don't know what to be more happy about. A college season or NFL. Shit.
I tell you what I'm happy about. Football season. It's football. Football. All right. So since we've done all our divisional breakdowns, I know it's still preseason. Give me your way too early Super Bowl pick. It might change as the season, but give me.
Who gonna win?
No, who gonna get? Not who gonna win. Who gonna get there? Who gonna get there?
Yeah. Fuck it. Why not? Humor me this. Why not? Philly / Dallas versus Bengals / Chiefs / Bills. Why not?
Okay, you know what? Fuck that. Give me instead of Super Bowl picks, give me your NFC. Give me your NFC game. Give me the NFC Conference Championship game, and give me the AFC Conference Championship game. What teams you got? Who do we see in the AFC Conference Championship, and who we see in the NFC Conference Championship? We're not gonna pick winners, but we're gonna pick that. We're gonna pick that.
Fuck around, be Philly and Seattle. Philly, Seattle, and maybe I don't know. I don't know how this would happen, but maybe Denver and Kansas City. That'd be crazy. That happened at Denver. No, that wouldn't happen. That would be crazy. I'm just shooting the shit right now. Maybe fuck it. Maybe Miami get in there.
Could be.
Maybe Miami gets in there. Shit. Maybe we might get Mahomes. Well, this is what I want. I want Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes AFC Championship game.
Hey, now okay.
That's what I want for real. No sugarcoating. That's what I want. But damn, that schedule is fucking crazy. It's like, oh, y'all got Aaron to watch this.
Yeah, the Jets do have the first 5 games of the season is gonna be a real measuring stick for them because they got a brutal schedule this year.
I mean, this win the division. You can make the playoffs if you win the division.
You said in the NFC you got Philly and Seattle.
Shit. I can't. I'm not thinking that. I mean, you want to throw Dallas in there, but fuck it. It might could be the 49ers and Philly again. I just feel like NFC East and NFC West probably have a date for that conference championship game. It's very possible. Now, who you got?
AFC Conference Championship.
Yes.
I'm rocking with you. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm rocking with you. Give me A-Rod and Mahomie. Give me the Jets and the Chiefs in the AFC Conference Championship game. In the NFC Conference Championship game, I'm going just like a couple years ago when we had 2 NFC West teams. Give me 2 NFC East teams. Give me Philly and give me Dallas. Fuck it. Give me Philly and give me Dallas. I know I said
that means Dallas will have to win 2 playoff games.
I know
that's hard for them to do.
But here's the thing, man. When you look at the NFC in its entirety, there's really nobody that you can say that you feel super confident about outside of San Francisco, Philly, and Dallas. Now I do feel confident about New Orleans. I do. But I don't know. I don't have as much confidence in New Orleans as I do Dallas, Philly, and San Francisco. Now, I could be wrong. Like I said, I give up on Dallas doing anything. Fuck Dallas. I don't give a fuck about Dallas. But when I look at the NFC in its entirety, those are the only two. Them the only 2 teams that you can really say that Dallas, whether you want to admit it or not, Dallas did get a tad bit better. It's probably their best offseason in a while. So we'll see, man. We'll see. We shall see.
I mean, the most surprising thing to me about Dallas is how they've been able to be consistent with their defense for the last going on. It'll be 4 years now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why Diggs said that, motherfucker, it's you. The reason why we ain't winning. We need you, motherfucker. You throwing all these goddamn picks against the 49ers.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Great pod, great episode.
Same.
It's always good to chop it up with you.
Always.
Now we get to start to, focus on the NFL and NCAA, and then here comes basketball.
Yes, it's a beautiful time of year. We got, this is my favorite time of year. We got football. We got high school football. Then you get college football. Then you get the NFL. So, the dark days are pretty much, I'm not going to say pretty much, but they're over. The dark days are over.
Yeah, it's over now. We made it over the hill.
Yes.
Yet again.
Yes. Nigga, we made it. But as always, man, week in and week out, Ryan, it's always a pleasure to do this podcast with you. This was a great episode. This was the last week of our divisional breakdown. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. We will be doing some more former player interviews. So make sure y'all tune in to them. And as always, man, tell a friend about us, man. Tell these businesses about us. We're trying to get sponsors, so we ain't got to fucking work no more, because both of us are working 2 jobs. And I think I can speak for Ryan when I say we tired of this shit.
I'm very tired.
And I want to say, look, to anybody that watches, interacts, comments, we appreciate it. Believe me, because with both of us working 2 jobs, it is extremely fucking hard to get these episodes done, then edit it. Hell, I'm up till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes editing, and I got to be up for work in the morning at 4:30 in the morning. So anybody that interacts, man, we greatly appreciate it, as always. But Ron, I'm gonna let you go, man. And as next week, brother, we got another good one coming next week. All right, bro.
All right, God bless you. Be safe, brother.
Same to you.